Hi everyone, this is Demari and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for checking in with me today and having a look at this read. So as you can see my face this time, so do let me know your thoughts on this layout in the comments below, because I'm thinking about mixing it up every now and then just so it doesn't get too samey, but let me know what you prefer. So today I'm going to be doing your career and personal growth read for the sign of Libra. So to begin with, I'm going to be using the Intuitive Tarot for this read. So allow me to pull out any messages that are going to be relevant to your current circumstance. Okay? So first thing I want to look at for you, Libra, is what is it that you're currently dealing with in terms of your career? Where are you currently at? Whether you're in a career or you're self-employed, just in some line of work, or unemployed. So what is the current situation for you, Libra? Moon card in reverse. So, I think you haven't discovered your full potential yet. I think you're considering your options, you're weighing them up, but you're not sure what's going to allow you to create your best work yet. Or maybe you don't know what's going to be best suited for your particular circumstances. So you're weighing up your options, but it's hard to do that because you don't have all the pros and cons yet. You're not aware of all the pros and cons of the situation. What could be best suited to you, like which opportunity. So it could be that you're waiting on some information to come about. Maybe it could be that you applied for a job and you're still waiting to hear back from the employer to see if you got it, or maybe you've been given the job but you're waiting to see the contract because you want to know exactly what the terms are before you give a definitive answer as to whether or not you'll take the job, which is sensible, right? You guys are very good at that, by the way. Libra, you're very good at getting the facts and weighing them up, so it's good that you're taking that initiative because sometimes a job offer can sound very attractive on the surface, but then when you actually see the fine print, you're like, okay, so I'm getting 0-hour contracts, or okay, so you expect me to work 50 hours a week and no overtime pay, okay, things like that. So it's important that you do get all the facts first before you make a decision as to whether or not you'll take these new opportunities or this opportunity. If that's not the case for you currently, if you're not job hunting or looking to switch jobs, it could be that you've applied for a higher position in your company and you're waiting to hear back. So do take it as it applies, if it applies to your situation. For some of you, I feel like you're just questioning whether or not this is the right role that you're in. The job that you're in currently, some of you feel like, is this what I should be doing? Or is there something else I could be doing that's going to be more geared towards my interests, right? Or that's going to really make me feel like I'm living a very aligned life, okay? So it could be that you're weighing up your options on that level as well, so just take it as it applies. So what else I want to know is, what is it that needs to be addressed in regards to this situation? So I feel like you are coming at it, either, whatever your circumstances is with this, I feel like you are approaching it from a very clear-headed view, which is good. It's important that you don't just jump at any opportunity that comes your way, and you really consider the options and exactly what each opportunity entails and what's expected of you. Because I feel like either way, whatever the situation is, you haven't got all the details, and that's what you're waiting for. You want to find details, right? So that's good. But I feel like there could be something else in relation to this, so let's have a look. What needs to be addressed in regards to Libra's career, work, or just job search? Yes, 7 of Wands in reverse, so that's really telling in that you're concerned that it's not going to give you that means to really express yourself, right? That you're not going to be able to put forward your ideas, that you're not going to be able to create something within that framework. So you're really questioning whether or not it's going to give you the opportunity to operate in the way in which you choose to, in the way that's best for you. You know, am I going to be able to pitch my ideas? Are they going to be taken seriously? Am I going to be able to create my best work? Will I have an opportunity to be seen within this company? Am I going to be able to grow as well? I feel like this is not just about what you can create, but your growth, you know, your personal growth journey within this company or this occupation that you've chosen, or if you are self-employed, is this best suited to my skills? Like, am I going to be able to develop my skills in the way that I wish to? Or is this actually going to hinder my progress? That's what you're questioning right now. So that's why it's really important to get the details right. And sometimes there's certain things you're not going to know until you try it. So sometimes you have to take a leap of faith and try things. And usually with any kind of job offer, right? You usually have a period of time in which you can say, I'm sorry, I tried this, but it didn't work for me, right? Before you're expected to commit to whatever contract. And even so, like if it really isn't resonating, it's within your right to remove yourself from the circumstances, right? But obviously it depends on the contract, and you should get some professional advice in regards to that before you sign anything if you are having those concerns. Because obviously I don't know, every contract is different, right? So if you are wondering whether or not this is the right contract for you, or if you're unsure about some of the terms in it, get a professional to look at it. You know, there are a number of services for that available. So just have a look in your local area and see if you can get someone to have a look at it. Or if you know someone who's very good with contracts, like a lawyer, particularly when it comes to business or workplace contracts, get them to look over it, because it's important that you understand things fully and not just sign it because you think that's what you're supposed to do, right? So just have a look. But I feel like, yeah, you are going to be questioning whether or not this is going to really bring out the best in you and allow you to progress, as well as really develop your skills and be able to present your ideas, you know, and have them taken seriously. So that's why it's really important to do the research and get all the information you can about the role before you say yes, okay? But some things, yeah, you're not going to necessarily know until you try. So it's important to keep that in mind also. But just don't feel like, even if you do agree, that you're going to be trapped, because it's not like that. You always have a choice, okay? So what I want to address now, what I want to have a look at now, is what are your biggest strengths, right, in regards to what it is that you're considering? Because we all have, you know, fantastic attributes, skill sets, things like that we can bring to the table. Everyone's got something they can bring to the table. So I want to know what's some of your biggest strengths, Libra, overall. Again, this is a general read, so this isn't gonna resonate with everybody. If it doesn't, it's fine. You just take it or leave it as it works, right? As it fits. If it doesn't fit, that's fine. Then it's just not your particular read this time around. Same with these attributes that I'm looking at, but I feel like it will apply for a good number of you. So, what are your biggest strengths? Okay, Ace of Swords, nice. So you're very methodical, very logical. Like I said, when it comes to the fine details, you know how to get them, right? You know how to really look at the fine print and assess. So that's going to really help you in regards to any potential work offers, any opportunities that come your way. Very, very good at critical thinking. Usually can problem solve very well. The things they call hard skills, I feel like a lot of you have that down to a T. So things like, leadership, problem solving, things like that. Being very analytical. Some of you will be very good with numbers and assessing things that way. Some of you will be, good with languages, I think. but I think more of you with numbers probably. And yeah, so you'll be very good communicators, I feel, because even if you may not be able to put things quite in the way that you wish to, you can get across your feelings pretty well and your thoughts on something. But I feel like, yeah, especially when it comes to being very analytical and getting the details and, you know, just getting things done, I feel like that really resonates with you guys. Like, you get shit done, right? So that's good. That's one of the reasons why they want you on board. Excuse me. One of the reasons why they want you on board, because they see those skills in you immediately, right? So they're, okay, this is someone who's going to get things done. You know, they're a team player, but they also can be potentially a leader. You know, they're very decisive. They don't hang around. They take the initiative. You know, they're a go-getter. That's what I feel. And that's good. That's what a lot of companies are looking for, right? Someone who can hit the ground, keep the ground moving, right? So what I want to know now is, what are your weaknesses? Because it's not to discourage you in any way or make you feel bad. It's just so you're aware of what tendencies you may have that can trip you up, so that you don't fall into old habits and, you know, start with the wrong foot, okay? So that's what I just want to know, so that you don't sabotage any opportunities that could really benefit you. So what are Libra's general weaknesses? Okay, 2 of Wands in the upright. That's an interesting card. I didn't expect to pull that. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't expect that, that's for sure. Okay, so it might be, I feel like some of you are very good at, like I said, being the driving force and getting things done, but sometimes you may not know how to work well in smaller groups, right? Like, I feel like when you're in an overall team, you can kind of bounce off of various people, and, you know, you're very good at spearheading projects. But I feel like if you're in a small group, if there's just, like, say if you're in pairs, if you're in some kind of partnership situation, you may have friction, because there's that power exchange going on, right? This dynamic of, you know, one person's trying to create something, but then another person's trying to create something, and you're weighing up which option is better, and you might take it personally if your idea isn't picked. That's what I feel. So when it comes to, like, being in smaller groups or having to work just one-on-one with someone else, you might get a little bit defensive if your idea isn't taken on board. It could be that, depending on who you're working with, you can really struggle getting things done if they're, like, not as driven as you are, or if they're a little bit more airy-fairy with their ideas and don't really put anything down on paper. You can get quite flustered with that, because you're so methodical, you're so analytical, you have everything written down, you know, every aspect of everything written down clearly, neatly organised. And if you're working with someone who's a little bit more of a airy-fairy creative type, not slating them at all, because I'm a little bit more geared that way myself, but they can drive you nuts, basically, because you just don't operate that way. It's totally opposite to how you operate, so you can get quite frustrated. So it's just being aware that everyone has different work styles, okay? Everyone has different personalities and ways of doing things, and while they might not be as methodical or as organised as you, that doesn't mean that they don't have something very valuable to bring. Their airy-fairiness might bring a whole new dimension to the work. So they'll come up with some fantastic ideas that you wouldn't have thought of otherwise, and you have to take that on board and appreciate the good things they are trying to bring on board. Yes, if they're really distracted and not paying attention, then you have to rein them in, right? But there's a way in which you do that. So just be careful that you're not too judgmental or overcritical of those that you work with, okay? Particularly on a one-to-one level, like if you're in a partnership or in pairs for a project. Yeah, try not to be too judgmental of others and their different ways of working, okay? So what I want to look now is the direction you're moving in, okay? So where it is that you're headed, with this idea or project, just this general career move that you want to make, or with opportunities that are coming up? Where is it that you're headed, Libra? Okay, you've got Three of Swords in reverse. So I feel like some of those, I feel like you are going to really work on your soft skills, because I feel like there will be an opportunity where you get to address some of those critical judgments that you have of others, and these opportunities that come up will allow you to address that. You may be doing some coaching, like you may be doing some training that will involve like teamwork and working in pairs when you start this new job, and that will really force you to address those things, right? How you interact with your workmates, right? With your colleagues. So that's really interesting. That'll be very useful for you, right? It will serve as a learning curve for you, so you can really so if you really take it on board as like an opportunity to learn and grow, then that will work really well for you actually, and that will add to your attributes, not take from them, okay? So that's important to know, that that's actually quite a positive, not a negative. For those of you that are self-employed, I think you're going to have to readdress how you work with people, especially your clients, because I feel like sometimes you can get into heated discussions with how things should be done, but you have to understand that while yes, you are a professional and you know what you're doing, clients have always got their own ideas, right? People will always have their own ideas, and they may want to do it a certain way, so you have to be a little bit flexible, okay, and find a middle ground, okay, compromise. That's what I feel like here is what you're going to have to learn, is how to compromise. If you are, like I said, you're looking for work at the moment, yeah, I feel like this opportunity will allow you to put those skills to the test, right? So again, similar could be that you find yourself in a team building exercise, things like that. Maybe you're asked to do some kind of questionnaire to assess certain skill sets you have, things like that. But either way, it's going to be a good learning curve for you. So take that as a valuable lesson, not as a hindrance, right, to what it is that you want to do. It's something that's going to help you actually in the long run. So how then, in regards to that, can you best help level yourself up? Ooh. Sun, see the positive in all things, right? See the positive in others, see the positive in yourself, see the positive in the work, see the positive in your circumstances, and things will really become a much brighter, happier place for you, right? If you get too bogged down with the imperfections, then, sorry, if you get too bogged down with the imperfections, you're not going to see all the good, right, that comes out of these circumstances. You're not going to see the good in others. You're not going to see the good in what you're producing or yourself, right? So it's important that you don't allow your analytical mind to be overcritical of everything, okay? Because that will really put a downer on everything that's happening, and the good that's happening in your life, right? Especially moving into next month. So really think about that, okay? This is telling you that there's so much to be grateful for, and you have such abundance coming your way in terms of this new opportunity. But you really have to balance how you look at it and not allow yourself to be overcritical of the things that you see as imperfections, right? Because there are a lot of good things that are coming from it as well. Okay, so that's really good advice. Yeah. Take the time to appreciate those things. Don't always charge through every aspect of every moment of every day, right? Take the time to just appreciate, you know, and show your appreciation. You know, you don't have to, you know, only bring up the bad. Make sure you bring up the good as well. People need to know that. Yeah, you know, emotional fulfillment comes when we create positivity around us, right? And then others feel that positivity, and then they feel positive, and then they spread that, right? It's contagious. So, you know, what do you want your energy to be? That you spread toxicity and negativity? Or do you want it to be that you spread positivity and support, right? And encouragement. Not to say that you can't, you know, obviously give fair critique and give advice where it's needed, but just be, use your rationale to assess when and how you approach that, right? And, you know, in what you need to do, whether you need to be supportive or whether you need to give critique, right? Having emotional intelligence is going to be a big factor in whether or not you're successful, I feel, okay? Because, like I said, when it comes to the hard skills, you've got that down. But when it comes to emotional intelligence, that may be the aspect that needs a little bit of work. Yeah. So it all comes down to you, really. You've got the Hanged Man in reverse. So have a think about that anyway. So now what I want to just pull for you, Libra, is the overall energy in regards to your career, work, business. Ooh, Ace of Swords again. So yeah, that's very positive. I feel like things are going to be moving very fast in the coming couple of weeks. In particular, I think the next couple of weeks, things are going to start to really move forward. You'll get the information you need, you'll be able to assess, make a decision, go ahead if you want to. If not, look at other options and maybe go ahead with one of those. So yeah, very positive, right? Things are really moving forward. I feel like that there's going to be a very strong open line of communication. So any questions you do have, you'll be able to relay that and you'll get a response in a timely manner. Because I feel like whoever it is that wants to work with you are really quite sincere with what they feel you can bring to the table. So you just have to make sure that the terms are going to be in your best interest and that it will allow you to provide your best work but also give you room for growth. Okay, so that's very, very positive, Libra. So no need to worry, okay? Just, as I said, just to recap, you know, you are questioning whether or not it's going to give you the opportunity for that growth and to create your best work, to pitch your ideas, to be taken seriously. I feel like you are going to be valued and that they do see your skills and your attributes that can really bring something valuable to the team, right? Be mindful with how you communicate with others, particularly in the workplace, and don't allow your critical thinking to place too harsh a judgment on other people's work style. Everyone's different, you know, respect that. Try and work on your emotional intelligence and do learn how to be a little bit more relaxed when you're communicating with people. And like I said, not to give critique when it's not needed, all right? So be very smart with how you approach that. And yeah, just weigh out the information you get, see whether it's in your best interest to take the job. If you do, then go full steam ahead, because I think you're going to do very well in it, okay? If it's a business that you have, you know, just work on how you communicate with your clients and all will be well. You know, you'll get the repeat work. Yeah, and if you're coming into employment rather than switching jobs in a company, you may have an opportunity to really work on those team skills, right, and how you communicate and relate to other people on an emotional level. So take that on board. Don't see it as, oh God, one of these cheesy team building exercises. Use that as an opportunity to learn. Use it as an opportunity to develop these soft skills that you're acquiring. Okay, so that's my advice for you, Libra. I hope you find that useful. If you enjoyed it, do let me know by leaving a comment. If you hated it, let me know in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to doing your next read.